Happy Wednesday, everybody.
Ooh,
I guess somebody is starting their Memorial Day weekend early.
Right.
Process of elimination.
Right.
But hey, lots of things to do if you are headed out of town for Memorial Day weekend. And it's just one of the many things people will love about living in the Carolinas.
Very true.
You know, that's what we're asking this morning. What is your favorite thing about living in the Carolinas?
Is it Charlotte or the Carolinas?
No, Charlotte. So specifically Charlotte.
Okay,
now, the reason we're talking about this is because U.S. News and Report, they actually just ranked Charlotte as the fifth best place, guys, to live in the country. So we actually beat out Raleigh by 1 spot.
Sorry, Raleigh. Sorry.
There you go. Boom.
Poor
Now, the
Raleigh.
list did cite the Charlotte's diverse neighborhoods and strong industry as some of the reasons that it ranks so high.
So Hickory also scored high, coming in at number 26. And for folks who are curious, Naples, Florida came in at number 1. So again, we want to know, what is the best thing about living in Charlotte? Or hey, if you want to say the Carolinas too, you can say the Carolinas too.
They go hand in hand.
They do go hand in hand. I said this morning the best thing about it is living right in the middle between the beach and the mountains. It's like you can do whatever your heart desires.
It goes boom, boom. It's like that. The sound effect goes with it.
Well, I mean, I'm sure, Larry, you are a wealth of knowledge about living in this area, things that you think are so great.
Yeah, I mean, actually, to be quite honest, sometimes I complain about the traffic and it's getting too big sometimes. But the reality is, when I first came here many, many years ago, back in the 70s, there were areas of Charlotte that were run down and really an eyesore. And I'm talking about, it started with 4th Ward, which was a run-down old neighborhood. Look how beautiful that is.
Wow.
And then, obviously, Dilworth was run down. Look, a beautiful area.
Yeah.
Lower South End has grown. It's just exploded in growth. And also just the beauty of Uptown. The skyline, I think, is one of the better skylines in the country.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I agree.
Yeah.
Whenever I drive past Charlotte, I just smile. It just has a really pretty backdrop and everything. I love Bank of America Stadium being like right in Uptown. Romeo Bearden Park being right there.
Truist Ballpark is right there. Baseball.
And that fountain in Romeo Bearden Park that changes colors is one of my favorite things to do. It's always nice to run through on a really hot day.
I think I like the history here, good and bad. Charlotte is a wealth of history, especially if you start looking at how old policies and practices kind of shape the way the city grows, and you can kind of tie the history back to what we're seeing today. I feel like a lot of people don't realize that.
There's so many great museums here that people should take advantage of and visit and see.
So tell you what, if you go from South Tryon to North Tryon, just walk uptown Charlotte.
Yeah.
Everything you want is all there.
Yes.
Everything, and then the history of Charlotte's right there, and then obviously beautiful views, the restaurants.
Right. That's where I walk my dog every day. So we'll run around and check out the
Great place to
skyline.
be.
Yes.
Melissa Banks chiming in saying, I like all the concerts that come here, and I like that I'm only 3 hours from my home, Charleston, where she grew up. Joy Mott, I like having the mountains and the beach a few hours away when I live there. That's same
Joy,
for me.
come back.
And I always tell people when people are debating moving here, it's like there is something for everyone. If you like small town feel, country, you can live outside the city. If you like the big city feel, you can go to Uptown. We have all the major sports teams, Broadway shows come here. I mean, there's literally something for everybody.
Well, and Charlotte continues to grow. That I think, especially since I've had JT, we didn't go out as much as we once did.
Yes.
But now going out, it's crazy about. There's a lot of kid-friendly areas, a lot of dog-friendly areas. There's something for everyone. And then with the rejuvenation of the concert scene, we just had that one in Uptown. I think this is only the beginning for some of those bigger acts that are coming around. And so many people are moving here as well because the weather is also pretty decent.
I mean,
it gets hot,
people
but
coming from parts of the United States that are not the most appealing, and maybe I don't want to give particular areas, but they come here and it's bright, it's beautiful, and it's not dim and nasty and stormy all the time.
Our tree canopy is amazing here too. Our tree canopy.
Yeah, well, I have to say this about the tree canopy, and there's a caveat to what we're saying because growth does do things,
it does.
And the tree canopy is being slowly eroded. And that's a fact. All this development is taking away the beautiful tree canopy. And, I have to say, I think there are too many apartments being built. We're being overtaken by huge apartment complexes, taking away the tree canopy. So there is a caveat to the beauty and the greatness of Charlotte. With that comes some of these things that I don't think are the best to happen.
Well, that's a legitimate point.
Yeah.
I mean, the growth, it's really hard to watch cities grow. All of my family, we're from Chicago.
Yeah.
And I always tell my parents, like, the best comparison is if you could go back in time and watch Chicago establish itself, that's like the process that Charlotte is going through right now. And it's a process that you don't get to see. So when you don't have parameters on growth, and I want to be very, very politically correct and careful when I say this, you do get both the positives and the negatives.
Absolutely.
Yes, you're bringing people and money into, a city, and you're a growing metro, which therefore means more taxes for that city.
Yeah.
But if you're losing your trees, losing your history,
and also our infrastructure, the road system is slowly being improved, but there are some, and everything we're talking about, everything that happens, then the other side of the coin is how do you improve the roads, how do you improve the tree canopy? Well, it comes with taxation, and a lot of people just don't want to pay those extra pennies it takes. But to beautify Charlotte, to stay beautiful, we have to do some of these things. So we sound like politicians.
You do.
If elected, the tree canopy will be restored, and we'll have better roads. I promise.
It's been crazy to see, though, even just the 7-8 years that we've been here. Like, we live south, and so we've been able to see the Ballantyne area. I mean, they had Hall Family Farm there that now is a huge Novant hospital. Behind Ballantyne, the Ballantyne Hotel that was that golf course now is that backyard area. They put up a huge stage there. There's a huge apartment building that's going up back there.
Ballantyne was nothing more than the woods when I first came. That was Ballantyne. It was just a wooded area.
Yeah,
there was no 485. I remember back then. I remember.
I thought it was really interesting. You told me that South Boulevard, I know if the further south that you go, it is a lot more industrial, but at one point, that was not a good part of town as well, and how much that has just really flourished as well.
Yeah, I mean, there were parts, seriously, if you go back to the 70s, there were parts of Charlotte you just did not want to go to any time of day or night. I mean, there were a lot of issues, and those have all been improved.
Now those are $1 million homes.
To make it you can make it a beautiful city. And, as long as we do this with a little bit slower pace in some of the development, I think things will be okay. But that's what happens. You get a great city, then development happens, and then 10 years from now we're going, I can't move.
I know.
Well, that's the thing about development. I always say, especially when I used to cover politics back in Wisconsin, infrastructure never grows as fast as a city do. People move faster than policy every single time.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what Charlotte looks like in 15 years, what Ballantyne looks like, Pineville, Matthews, all the surrounding cities, because it's not stopping here.
Hey, if you look at the skyline from like 35 years ago, it looks like a different, city.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, you don't even recognize anything. Yeah. And then if you go farther back when I first came here, there are one thing that was always bothered me, some of the historical buildings
I know
that were once here are no longer here, they're gone.
Ben talks about that all the time.
We tear down. We don't restore
and save. It's so sad.
And I wish we'd do more of that, but there's not too many left in Uptown. There were some beautiful, these great structures in Uptown that were taken for modernization. But, that's one thing about some of the older cities up north. Chicago's an example. They saved it.
I did just go to a luncheon at the Duke Mansion, and we were able to do a tour, and it was so fascinating to see the history of Charlotte and that area, and then preserving that home. It's amazing.
In Myers Park.
Yeah. All right, well, keep chiming in. Let us know what's your favorite thing about living in this area. Let us know, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. Have a great day.
Blessed day, guys.